last chance for both of these teams to stay and have the possibility of competing in front of a crowd. Guys, stay with us. It's Luminosity versus Wildcard.
Game 1 brought to you by Progressive, and a win to go to round 5, and you hope to dodge the Falcons and the rest of the talent that is left. Just one of the most stacked majors that we have, and only 8 teams can go to playoffs and be in front of that crowd. OCE and APAC want to make it there. We'll see how things start off. Chiefs have already been eliminated, so this is OCE's last hope and last chance.
And it's a good one to have behind you too. And of course, like you said, Luminosity has already faced off against the other OCE seed, but it just gets harder from here. This is the one that has been taking the top teams to Game 5s, to Game 4s, and even when they're swept, they look competitive, and they're gonna keep looking competitive. Banana Head, a catch and a reset to give Wildcard their open lead.
This Catalysm just ran out of boost, looked awkward, and the immediate awareness from Banana Head to sit in the midfield and to press that. And early mistakes from the Luminosity side, and they're still very good talent. And maybe sometimes the Sosa show and the Sosa carry, but wait, watch out. Catalysm wanted his revenge after that one, gets nothing. We also have to remember Sphinx was the APAC MVP at the World Championship on the Elevate side of things. So Luminosity can turn up. We'll see if these are the right pieces, though, to challenge OCE to their limits.
Fever taking like a million challenges right there, but still not enough to break out. Instead, it's a shot off the post, and Sosa there to clean up. And pretty reminiscent of the first play that we got from Luminosity as well. They're keeping it fairly close in front of that goal box and trying to force on in. Unfortunately for Torsos, there was no save this time, and it's a tied game.
You really got to have your eyes on where Sosa is at all times. This is going to be the most accurate shooter on this team to find the equalizer. Really good support across the board. Look at that, Catalysm is getting away with too much. Banana Head forced to make a save as Wildcard are on the back foot, and Luminosity first on the ball. Catalysm takes a shot, great pass his way. Wildcard get a decent clear downfield. Fever couldn't get a hand on it. Luminosity, though, been able to keep this pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, this has been a fairly competitive match and fairly equal. Couple of missed opportunities from Wildcard, like you just saw, a little bit high and wide on it. But I will say defensively from both of these teams, they've done an incredible job of holding their own. Although this is a better shot off for Wildcard. Luminosity, a little low on boost, took everything they had to get on out, and they're all 3 pushed up, ready to go. Torsos gonna try and sneak around. Rule 1 broken. Demo comes through. Y'all decide who actually gets the bad luck after that one. I'm not gonna make that call.
Yeah, let's stir the pot in chat, shall we? But Luminosity already playing with a lot of confidence, and what they're able to do on low boost is pretty incredible too. And let's see if they can keep this up, though. It's finally Wildcard's turn, and sometimes Wildcard get broken down pretty early. They've had 0-3 deficits against GK on multiple occasions, but you can't underestimate how Wildcard flip a switch in the last minute of play and really take over a field.
Fever to the backboard, no space. Sphinx had a good read. Banana Head threw himself at it, which means Torsos is the one back and cheats up enough to make a weak shot, but it is still there in possession of Wildcard. You do got to be careful, though, if you're Wildcard, not to overcommit too much. If these clears are going to be coming through, which we just saw they did, Luminosity's done a fairly good job of being able to clear out past the midline, especially if a team doesn't have it under control. So quick little transition out after the clear, and Luminosity, they take that lead back for their own.
Yeah, just Banana Head alone in the net, 2 on the side for Wildcard when they had sent 2 pretty deep offensively, and they were rotating back, and Wildcard looked stable off of the delay that Banana Head created, but just did not expect that shot from Luminosity at the point that it was. Torsos can't win the 50. Good clear from Catalysm, and both teams stretching, using all the boost they can to get a hand up, and this puts Wildcard's backs against the wall. But Luminosity can't maintain the pressure as the backboard available. Good toss to the side there from Catalysm.
Yeah, Catalysm's done an incredible job, in my opinion at least. One of the more experienced players on this team from closer to the OG days, but right now, Wildcard have been showing that years and years of showing up to these lands is eventually gonna pay off. It started off with Banana Head. You thought he was gonna get past Catalysm, but no, you hear the dink and then the goal explosion. Wildcard to tie things up.
Yeah, Luminosity turtled up and the spaghetti was on the floor and they just got all mixed up. We find ourselves tied with 90 seconds left, and look who's up high. Banana Head jumping up Sosa to disrupt, and while he lands back down to earth, someone else, a secondary, needs to be challenging from Luminosity, and it's just been a lot of Sosa energy, giving a chance for Wildcard to build up momentum on their offense. But now patrolling that midfield, Wildcard wait for their moment, and it's Fever against Catalysm with a delay, the fake Catalysm backflipping, and Torsos is not letting Luminosity get away with much.
1 minute left to go. Sosa's play completely taken away from him. Fever doesn't have a lot to work with here, but he does get a touch over one, and Torsos to take over. He's trying desperately to pinch it forward, and it almost worked. Unfortunately for them, Luminosity's defense does a great job here, but it's not good enough. You see the lean backs from Sosa. Fever and Banana Head. It was just a 50 gone wayward and a crazy catch out. Wildcard take their lead with 40 to go.
Yeah, the last two goals from Wildcards have been big surprises and very fast, all giving a chance for Luminosity to react. And just off the kickoff, the immediate forgiveness, the tie game at 37 seconds.
Oh my gosh, I mean, that's just a great cheat up from Catalysm too. Hoping that it 50s out. I'm sure it probably was intentional, but the placement from him on top of it, a crazy response. Exactly what they needed to keep their confidence going. Dead ball and a shot. Sphinx, I mean, those Luminosity kickoffs, props to you guys.
What the heck is going on? Back-to-back kickoffs and now Luminosity have the lead? Oh, geez, this could easily go the distance. Just when you think one team could sweep or just have at least a good series, you just never know how it could be turned on its head. And look at Luminosity even go for more insurance. Torsos with long pass to Banana Head, now getting in each other's way as Catalysm sends it away. And Wildcard need to build up to something special here in the last 20 seconds. And it's a shot on target. Torsos ties.
Nice little catch out there too. Sphinx, unfortunately, he goes for the challenge on it, but if you're gonna throw that ball at the wall, you better be prepared for your opponents to catch that and throw it at your net, and they were not prepared in that situation. Tied game, 15 seconds to go off the kickoff. Fever's gonna try and beat out Sosa, but it's a clear out into the mid. Banana Head past one, 8 seconds on the clock. Sphinx just lobs it up high, and here's the attempted finish. Down to Banana Head, still in play, no touch, and on the ground. Our first overtime.
I think many more to come too. These two teams have been so close. It started with Luminosity, but where will it end? It's already a 2-on-2 into the blue half, pinched off Sphinx, ready to try and set up Sosa for success, but now the pace has been really picked up, and now everyone has to keep up as well. As Banana Head meets Sphinx off the backboard. Sosa gets interrupted there by Fever. Now Torsos sets up Banana Head for a quick counterattack as Fever punches towards the net, saved by Luminosity.
Wildcard's getting, intense with it. There was a little bit of a fake on that play, so now they're getting creative around Luminosity, and Luminosity's got to be prepared. Sphinx off the ceiling, passed over to Sosa, denied by Torsos. And 45 into this one, Luminosity is now on their attack again. Wildcard, they just got to respect the fact that Luminosity does break into their half so often, but when they're out, they look good. Crazy 50 back. Fever just has to play it into his own corner and hope he can beat out Catalysm. He does for now. No cut from Sphinx. Oh, there it is. Taking his time to the backboard. He finds barely an angle on it. This follow will go through. Luminosity shut down Wildcard.
And Luminosity connecting when it matters the most. It's not just about feeding the ball to Sosa, but Sosa also being a distraction, causing chaos, and Catalysm is stepping up to the plate in the biggest of ways. And he's not known as a big goal scorer. clutched up against the Chiefs, and they obviously are in good spirits, telling themselves they could eliminate all of OCE if they keep this up. And it's taken a team effort and an overtime one at that for Luminosity to get in. So Wildcard, you know, yeah, I kind of see them as comeback kings, not gonna lie, with how the series have gone. And even though the beatdowns, they are a team that never give up until the series is actually over.
Absolutely. I feel like that's like the perfect way to describe them. Luminosity right now, though, they don't want to have to do comeback game this time. They would prefer to end it all as quickly as possible, but Wildcard will make that a challenge in the mid. Sphinx past one. You see Torsos racing back. He does get the faster touch. The demo in the mid opens up Wildcard to try and transition out, and they will. They're a little close for comfort on that play there, but Banana had recognized it and kept himself closer to the mid. Unfortunately for them, that ball went back to their backboard, and Sphinx got his double.
Tough one for Wildcard when they were building up to something special, and kind of a forced slightly own goal. Torsos getting a piece of that. But Luminosity are playing at this pace very well. And even OCE, kind of, when you watch their regionals, are a lot slower than usual. And it's very precise, and they fight for control first, and they don't want to get ahead of themselves. And Wildcard have to be on the retreat a bit quicker, though, against Luminosity, who know how to fire back. This Catalysm with a long clear as Luminosity wait to see how Torsos dwindles down. Banana Head with the pinch down, gets Sosa's hand up. Now Torsos gets demoed, and Luminosity are all over them.
Luminosity have done a very good job of sustaining pressure on Wildcard, even when this ball gets taken away from them. Possessionally, feel like they hold on to it just a smidge better, although Wildcard does have it. Low boost, tries to drop down over to Fever, and the beat out stops Wildcard in their tracks. Torsos loses this one. Sphinx had the opportunity. Low boost, most you can do is try and hope it floats on in, and they can't. Nobody from Luminosity had the resources to speed that play up. Instead, they go back to their own. The bumps come out. Catalysm trying to recover and get this ball, but Banana Head's just faster.
Especially for Sosa to have the boost, just be higher to actually take the shot on target, as usually you're setting him up to be the sniper. So Luminosity going in for round two. As Sphinx, a fantastic game one. Catalysm, this is a much more well-rounded Luminosity than we're used to. And that's great. You need all of them to be able to fire back against OCE's best. Here comes Fever, though. An open double, and Catalysm saves it somehow. And Torsos doesn't have firm control, so Luminosity get their heads above water.
Down by one. Got to find something here. You're approaching that second half of the game, and if you lose this one, Luminosity sits on match point and is way more comfortable than you are. Demo's in the back, trying to open a path. Sphinx recognizes the cut that he's gonna have to make there, but Banana Head still takes this ball back. Reset denied. Torsos to the backboard, follow from the center, and nobody can make a decent or at least registered shot from Wildcard.
At least there's a hint that that backboard is not as protected as it should be, and Wildcard have had real solid opportunities, but who cares? And there's no one in the net, and Wildcard can't score. It's 2-0 for Luminosity.
This is such a frustrating challenge, too, from Torsos. He got the initial one, but that second one was rough because he had no boost, and he'd already decided that he needed to play it a little up the wall and turn, and unfortunately for him, there was just better spacing off Luminosity in that play there. 2-0 on the board. Less than 2 to go. Time dwindling away. The air dribble to hand it down to Sphinx looked great. Unfortunately for them, Wildcard takes it back into their half. Torsos trying to be a menace, but it's not going to stop Sphinx. Fever!
We're just the fan than that. Torsos, he needed to be the muscle. He's got Sosa uncomfortable, bumps him off the back wall, and Banana Head with the lob up with no one in the net to block, and Wildcard cut the lead in half.
2-1. This is where things start to get very interesting. Wildcard has capability to really put the pressure on if they want, but they have to trust themselves on defense, and right now it's been a little shaky. Fever past 130 to work within the tank. Reset, double, forward, 2 to defend, and Luminosity keeps Wildcard back.
Yeah, Luminosity's defense is stacked as Sosa leaves the ball off to Sphinx, as Sosa disrupts the net on the goal line and finished as always by Catalysm. 3-1 with a minute left and match point on the horizon.
I feel so bad for Fever here because Banana Head, excuse me, Torsos had already gone up for the initial challenge to make a save, and he had already committed, and at that point, Luminosity is like, this is so free. 2-goal lead, a minute on the clock. Wildcard have to get it together here. And another shot to a wide open net.
What is happening to Wildcard? Now the 3-goal deficit they've been able to overcome in the past, but not with this much time left. It was just getting buried all of a sudden. It's a snowball turning into an avalanche, and Luminosity are making them look a little silly. And now to reverse sweep is a whole different thing. And again, what is this, a hat trick for Catalysm? What is going on?
This is honestly like watching a crash out in real time. My heart, there is very few times where you will ever not see Torsos smile. Like, he's even smiling now, but for the 10 seconds that they got scored on, he was straight-faced. And Banana Head is one of the few that, you know, he's a very emotional player in the best way. And for him to be feeling and looking very quiet, you can just tell that this is one of those matches you just want to shake off and start over. I think best thing for the mental is just play some solid defense and kind of get your bearings straight for this game number 3 that's going to be coming your way. With 30 seconds left on the clock, though, Luminosity have got to be feeling great about themselves because after this one, they're sitting on match point.
They're sitting on almost hitting a Brazil. So we got 33 seconds. I was going to bring up. My bad. Get hydrated, homie. Of course, I was drinking water. Let's go next.
Drink your water. G.G. go next.
Lock in.
Yeah, lock in. Banana Head stared straight at the camera, was like, I hear you.
Like Jim from The Office. Like, I can't believe this is happening. And also figuring out kickoffs, because Luminosity even last game had a couple of goals off kickoffs, and Luminosity are probably tilting them even this game with a few surprises. And man, just all of the players from Luminosity having a fantastic day. And Sosa's not even the one carrying. And Sphinx having an MVP-like performance. He's having a hat trick too. Luminosity match point and a Brazil.
The 0-second Brazil. And yet somehow Torsos is smiling. I don't know why. Somebody needs to talk to him. I need to know what he's on that he can smile that much. Brazil in the chat world. And now Luminosity, one game away from potentially sweeping Wildcard out of the Birmingham Major.
And Sphinx, and so look at Sosa already trying to ram his head into Banana Head, who quickly had to dodge, but Wildcard, they sneak one through.
All right, we'll take the kickoff goals. It was a little questionable when it went off the nose of Banana Head, but I like where he placed himself afterwards. Full team effort, just a straight pinball play on that one. And Wildcard, of course, they've gone up one before. They've had that opening lead. It's more about building on it now, and one step at a time to attempt a reverse sweep.
I'm sure that just that goal that early, oh, wait a minute, as Fever just tried to adjust, kind of awkward there. That could have been a really good pass, a good attempt. It was a chance for Luminosity to get back on their feet. But I'm sure Wildcard are pretty hyped up to just start off that well. But that's only a small cushion to work with unless Fever can turn up, and Sphinx, great touch to the side, and Torsos is denied.
Couple demos in the back end to stop Luminosity as well from sneaking into the Wildcard half. Off the backboard, shot denied by Sosa. Sosa's gonna be one I think Wildcard is gonna have to keep their eyes on a lot, as he's a huge disruptor on a lot of these transitions out.
Banana Head has been consistent, a pillar, dodging demos, dodging strays, and still able to score whatever you give him. He has to work with. This Catalysm now working the net. Great save out of Wildcard. Fever keeps them still afloat and still in the lead. Torsos is downfield. Fever kind of missed the challenge in his Catalysm, and now Sosa has Luminosity back on offense when Wildcard are ready to full send it.
Talk about full sends, crazy clear out from Wildcard. Wastes a good chunk of time. Catalysm, reset, too wide for a shot. But right now, Wildcard, they're getting their bearings, they're catching them out, and they're on the board.
Yeah, you talked about spacing before, and Fever, what a win against Sosa. And then you got a 2 on no one, just 2 on 0, nobody in the net from Luminosity. And Wildcard able to dominate that midfield, making their transitions that easy, that open, that free. Luminosity, they can't slow down. Yeah, they can't trip over their laces at the finish line, not like this.
And it's gonna keep happening. I feel so bad for this team right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, Luminosity, something is shifted. You guys got to get it together. I don't know what's going on defensively, but Wildcard are making you look a little silly right now. Sosa denying Fever shot opportunity. Speaks 1-2, almost through, but Fever puts a hand up and keeps Wildcard in their 2-0 lead.
With Sosa being in a front blocker position, how is that red carpet not down into the net? How did Luminosity not score? Sosa shot on target to the corner that Torsos saves. And Wildcard always have someone in the net, someone ready. Fever adding on to the pain of Luminosity in this game 3. But Sphinx is left alone and left to breathe, and dribbling through, brings it low against Banana Head. Sosa stacking on, backboard, not available for Luminosity. Oh wait, gotta turn around. Banana Head has to flip through, and desperate demos come out. Luminosity want to keep this going, but they just can't.
They cannot. Why? Because Wildcard won't stop demoing them off of the field. Still holding on to their 2-0 lead. Less than 2 minutes to go. Torsos not able to center that one to Banana Head, and he's gonna have to race back. No boost. Maybe a pad can help him out here, and it does. Sphinx from the corner to the center. Torsos stops in his tracks, and right now, Luminosity just gotta respect the fact that Wildcard are playing so much more aggressive than they were in those first 2 games, and you gotta be weary of who is standing behind you waiting to demo out. Pass over to Sosa, bounce up, in.
You're waiting for Sosa to show up, and Canada is here to play, and about time. Like, Sosa broke up such a good pass earlier from Wildcard in a 1 versus 2, and to counterattack that much harder to break the lead in half. Luminosity are not done yet. They want that sweep bad. They want to eliminate not 1, but 2 OCE teams, while Wildcards want to go the distance. They got a few more cards up in the deck, and even through all the bullying and all the tackling in the net, Luminosity don't get the equalizer yet.
The bump play comes through. All right, I see you. That's what you start doing when you're like real frustrated. You send Fever in, you say, Sosa, get the heck out of your net. We're going on in, and that's exactly what happens. Wildcard up by 2, only over a minute left to defend their game 3. Let's see if they can extend to 4 here. 1 minute left on the clock. Torsos taking his time off the ceiling. He just floated because no boost in the tank. Faked the shot. Fever back in time. But right now, Luminosity are fighting a ticking clock.
Yeah, Wildcard are out for blood too. Just with the demos that they created in the net, even that previous plays. Catalysm tries to fake. Sosa in the midfield needs a good catch, gets rid of the ball before the challenge comes in. Sphinx towards the back wall. Defense not there. Catalysm collides into Fever. And you see Wildcard getting desperate for any touch that could clear, but it's Luminosity in the midfield. It's Luminosity with another offense. 25 seconds to go. Great blocks from Wildcard. All they need to do is delay and not choke at this point. And Sphinx with an awkward backflip that just couldn't finish off the second goal they desperately need.
You think they're not going to choke, but I just watched all 3 players whiff one of the most open shots ever. 2-goal lead and 4 on the clock. Wildcard have done it. They have one more chance towards the reverse sweep.
And to just unboom yourself from a Brazil at the 0-second mark. Torsos, you know, still smiling. I crash out and I smile through it, and you gotta be scared.
That's how you know he's going through it. That's Torsos smiling after getting Braziled should let them know they should be afraid.
Yeah.
Well, an incredible
way of being able to adjust in these critical spots where he's getting squeezed by Luminosity, and Wildcard are just bailing each other out very well.
Well, now Wildcard have to do it again. And it's gonna be a little bit harder this time as Luminosity now has even more information on them. About 15 seconds into this one, Catalysm, slow shot towards net, demo on the back end, but it's not gonna stop Sphinx here. Sosa's just taking his time, tries to get over Banana Head, not quite able to. The challenge isn't even gonna get past him the second time around. And Torsos, the one that we've all been keeping our eye on, the smile's alive and the ball still headed towards their way. Sosa reset over one, carry it in. Nice, simple, clean shot for Luminosity.
Off the first defense, Wildcard were bailing each other out, but what's different here? Ooh, just that extra turn and flip from Sosa against that 50 was really great, but also the demo in the net. So Wildcard can't bail each other out if they're locked away and demoed out of the way. So Luminosity using a lot of demos too to match Wildcard's chaotic style.
And that really is the only way to slow down Wildcard, is to demo them off the plays, because Fever being able to get back in time and get a touch and a save off of that is the reason why they need them off of the field. Catalysm past one, open net. Fever just caught out a bit too far, and Luminosity take advantage.
Yeah, Fever's usually the defensive mastermind, and they were so confident that they could go forward until all of Luminosity surrounded them, overwhelmed them, and just had one good turnaround, and Wildcard had no one back. Luminosity have built a good lead, but barely any time has gone by. So Wildcard just has to make sure that they play a safer defense if they can. And look at the layers. Torsos there in case his friend needs help. Now you got someone being locked away in the net, so Wildcard, this is their turn to strike, but they can't keep possession. And if anything, they've left their net open.
Wildcard just continue to not learn from their mistakes. There's a time and a place to do these high-risk, high-reward cheat-ups, and right now, that is not the time. Luminosity catches them out again into another wide open net. 3:40 on the clock is plenty of time to get back into this one, but you can't keep making those mistakes.
Yeah, I like the high risk, high reward style that you point out from Wildcard. They really just send all three, needing as many weapons as possible, as many offensive options as possible. The bouncer, Fever working through traffic on that one.
I like this bounce too, because Torsos didn't get a touch on Catalysm. It was more about making sure this ball gets back down and there's opportunity for somebody to follow through. That's the wild card that can get around the defense of Luminosity, and they do this time, but you're gonna have to do it two more times. Catalysm up over one, Fever drops it down out into the mid, Sosa there to collect, and right now Luminosity, spatial awareness has been on it. Banana Head so far up into their side that a pass back puts them into a 2v1. You gotta be careful there. Fever's not gonna stop it now. Banana Head throws himself, and again, Lemon, you gotta be careful if you're this team. They keep throwing themselves out of rotation.
Yeah, Wildcard are also demoing. Banana Head cleared the way, and it's just, they seem to be able to weaken Luminosity, but having the ball in those critical moments is not always assured for Wildcard, and you gotta applaud their way of how they're able to claw their way back in games that seem like such insane deficits to work against. As Wildcard of Catalysm juggling, so Wildcard wait to see what is up, and almost went for a dunk, but Sosa will recollect in the midfield. Wildcard will not let them get away as Fever looks for a bump into the net, bounce out to Torsos. Sosa, fantastic read.
Wildcard's gonna have to be a little bit more creative with this. The amount of times I've watched them try and go for the sidewall follow-up is a little frustrating. Catalysm, air dribble, pushed off the ball. Fever has just enough to make a touch, but nobody was there. Sosa played the patient game, but his shot was just a bit wide off the side. And Catalysm's doing the same. You're playing that patient game. You're already up by 2. You don't have to do too much.
And here comes Banana Head and slots this one in, outraces Luminosity back and demos to the side after Wildcard were floundering with just low boost, no boost saves, and to fire back in this way from a 0-3 deficit to 1 away from tying. Hold on, OC.
more than enough time to get back into this one. But you gotta stay composed. Sphinx in the mid, takes his time around 1, now 2, takes his time on this touch here, but Fever was just a bit more patient. Low boost for Wildcard as they drive on into the Luminosity half. Catalysm just trying to waste their time. So long as that ball is in the orange half, Wildcard are stressed.
Yeah, Wildcard, or Luminosity had no boost too, and you have to find that, plus constantly challenge this possession out of Wildcard while maintaining this lead. Now Luminosity are stable resource-wise. Catalysm just dumps it to the corner, stepping up. Sosa and Catalysm need to keep Wildcard stuffed on their half. If you give an offensive chance to Wildcard, you never know what Banana Head is going to be able to do. And everyone's falling like flies. Everyone, especially Luminosity, need a field reset. And they'll be able to do so. As this possession hasn't been clear. Sosa towards the net against Banana Head. Torsons rotates in time. Somehow it's still 3-2.
34 seconds left. The pass down to Banana Head denied off the ceiling and down. Luminosity have to defend their one goal. Low boost, a soft clear out mid. Gets collected from Torsos. Banana Head can't find anybody to bump out, but Wildcard still does have this ball where it needs to be in the blue side. And this one, bouncing back. 8 seconds on the clock here. This is what Wildcard don't want. They need on the other side of the field, and they're trying their hardest. Fever needs to keep it up. He does. It's a pop-up here. Banana Head over 1, all the way down to the ground. Can they catch it? No! Luminosity have sent OCE home.
Both of them, Chiefs and Wildcard, against everyone's expectations. APAC have risen. They go to